Captain Hansol stood at the main window of the UES Thunderbolt, watching the stars go by. The massive warship moved smoothly through space, its engines humming quietly. This was their third week patrolling the Orion Cygnus trade route, and so far, everything had been quiet. Maybe too quiet. "Captain, I'm picking up some strange readings," called out Ji Young from her tactical station. Her fingers moved quickly across the glowing screen as she studied the data. "It looks like there have been several ships missing in this sector over the past month." Hansol walked over to her station, his boots making soft sounds on the polished floor. The screen showed a map of their patrol route, with red dots marking where ships had disappeared. There were too many dots to ignore. "Show me the pattern," he ordered, leaning closer to the display. Ji Young pressed a few buttons, and lines appeared between the red dots. They formed a clear path, like breadcrumbs leading somewhere. From the navigation station, Daho spoke up. "Sir, if you look at the dates of these disappearances, they're getting closer together. Whatever is happening out here is happening more often." The bridge crew fell silent. They all knew what this might mean. Pirates had been a problem in other sectors, but this route had always been safe. It was one of the main reasons why so many civilian ships used it to transport goods and people. "Sun Mei," Hansol called to his communications officer. "Check if any distress calls came from those locations before the ships vanished." Sun Mei, her face lit by the blue glow of her console, worked quickly. "Yes, sir. But they're strange. Most of them cut off suddenly, and the few that didn't." She paused, adjusting her headset. "The few that didn't just stop transmitting altogether. They fade out, like something was blocking their signals." Hansol walked back to the main window, thinking. The Thunderbolt was humanity's newest warship, equipped with technology that most people didn't even know existed. Its shields could withstand hits that would destroy other ships. Its weapons were precise and powerful. If something was threatening civilian ships in this sector, the Thunderbolt might be the only vessel capable of stopping it. "Min Seo," he called to his chief engineer, "what's the status of our experimental shields?" Min Seo's voice came through clearly over the ship's comm system. "All systems are running at peak efficiency, Captain. The new upgrades we installed at the last station are working perfectly. We could take quite a beating if we needed to." "Let's hope we don't need to test that," Hansol said, but he had a feeling they would. He turned to his weapons officer. "Ta Wu, run a full diagnostic on all weapons systems. I want everything ready, just in case." "Already on it, sir," Ta Wu replied, his fingers dancing across his console. "All systems are green. Whatever's out there, we're ready for it." The crew continued their work, but there was a new tension in the air. They were some of the best-trained officers in the Earth fleet, chosen specifically for this ship and its mission. Each of them knew that something was wrong in this sector, and each was prepared to face whatever challenge came their way. Hansol returned to his captain's chair, studying the star map on his personal display. Years of experience had taught him to trust his instincts, and right now, they were telling him that something big was about to happen. The Thunderbolt might look like just another patrol ship to anyone watching, but it was humanity's most advanced warship, disguised as a regular patrol vessel. "Keep us on current course," he ordered Daho. "But start running passive scans on everything within range. If something's hunting in our territory, I want to know about it before it knows about us." The Thunderbolt continued its patrol, moving silently through the stars. To anyone watching, it would appear to be just another human ship going about its business. But inside, its crew was alert and ready. Its weapons were primed, and its captain was waiting. Something was out there in the darkness between the stars, and soon, very soon, they would find out what it was. The emergency alarm broke the quiet on the Thunderbolt's bridge. Sun Mi's hands moved quickly across her communications panel as she listened intently through her headset. "Captain, we're receiving a distress signal," she announced, her voice steady despite the urgency. "It's from a civilian transport ship, the Star Voyager. They're under attack." Captain Hansol stood up immediately. Put it on speakers. A broken voice filled the bridge. This is Captain Lee of the Star Voyager. We are under attack by unknown vessels. Our shields are failing. We have civilians on board. Please, if anyone can hear this. The message cut off in a burst of static. Location. Hansol demanded. 3 light minutes from our position. Daho reported from navigation. We can be there in less than 5 minutes at maximum speed. Hansol nodded. Take us in, but keep our approach quiet. Young. Ready all weapons but keep them powered down. We don't want to announce ourselves just yet. The Thunderbolt changed course smoothly, its powerful engines pushing it through space faster than its ordinary exterior would suggest possible. The bridge crew worked in focused silence, each person knowing their role perfectly. When they reached the location, the sight made everyone pause. 3 massive ships surrounded the civilian transport. They looked unlike anything the crew had ever seen before. Instead of metal and machinery, these ships appeared to be alive. Their hulls were dark purple and seemed to pulse like beating hearts. What are we looking at? Hansol asked quietly. Yoon-hee, the science officer, studied her readings carefully. Sir, those ships appear to be partially organic. They're some kind of biomechanical hybrid, and they're definitely not from any known species in our database. The crew watched as one of the alien ships extended what looked like a giant tentacle toward the civilian transport. The Star Voyager was already damaged, its hull showing burning marks where it had been hit. Sir, Sun Mai called out, I'm intercepting their communications. It's strange. Not like any language I've heard before, but the computer is translating parts of it. They're calling themselves the Nexus Pirates. Hansol's eyes narrowed. Pirates. So that's what's been happening to all those missing ships. He turned to his tactical officer. Jae-young, what's your analysis? Their ships are powerful, sir, but they're not invincible. I'm detecting what appear to be neural clusters, like brains, spread throughout their hulls. Those could be weak points. Jae-young's fingers moved across her screen, marking potential targets. They watched as the pirates began their boarding procedure. The tentacle-like appendage attached itself to the civilian ship's hull, beginning to cut through the metal. Sir, Ta Wu reported from his weapons station. All systems are ready. We have clean shots at all 3 vessels. Min Seo's voice came through from engineering. Captain, our shields are at full power. The experimental upgrades should give us an edge they won't expect. Hansol stood in the center of his bridge, watching the scene before them. These pirates had been terrorizing innocent people, making ships disappear without a trace. They'd probably thought this would be another easy target. They had no idea they were about to face humanity's most advanced warship. All hands, he announced shipwide, prepare for combat. This ends today. He turned to his crew. These pirates think they can hunt in our space, prey on our people. It's time to show them exactly what happens when they make that mistake. The Thunderbolt hung silently in space, its weapons ready, its crew prepared. They were about to reveal themselves to an enemy that had never faced a human warship before, and Captain Hansol intended to make this first encounter one the pirates would never forget. Captain Hansol stood perfectly still on his bridge, watching the alien ships attack the civilian transport. His mind worked quickly through all possible options. Fleet regulations were clear about situations like this. Wait for backup before engaging unknown enemies. But backup would take at least 30 minutes to arrive. The civilian ship might not have that long. Sir, Sun Mei called from her station. I'm picking up internal communications from the Star Voyager. They're reporting hull breaches on 3 decks. They have families on board, including children. Hansol's jaw tightened. He turned to his chief engineer. Min Seo, give me a full status report on our capabilities. Min Seo's voice came through clear and confident. Our experimental shields are at 100%, Captain. The new upgrades we installed are working perfectly. We've never tested them in actual combat, but all simulations show they should hold against almost anything. What about our weapons, Tawu? Han Sol asked, turning to his weapons officer. Tawu's fingers moved across his console, checking each system. All weapons are combat-ready, sir. Our new targeting systems are fully operational. We have enough power to take on all 3 ships if we need to. Jia Young spoke up from Tactical. Captain, I've analyzed their attack patterns. These pirates are used to fighting scared merchant ships, not warships. They're strong, but they're not watching their backs. We could use that against them. Han Sol walked to the front of the bridge, looking out at the scene before them. The civilian ship's lights were flickering, showing its failing power systems. One of the organic alien ships had already attached itself to the transport's hull, its purple tentacles cutting through the metal like it was paper. Daho, he called to his navigation officer, can you get us between those ships and the transport? Yes, sir, Daho replied confidently. Their formation leaves several gaps. I can put us right where we need to be. Han Sol turned to Yumi at the science station. What have you learned about their ships? The organic nature of their vessels might actually be a weakness, sir, she reported. They're more vulnerable to certain types of energy weapons than traditional ships. Their neural clusters are like brains. Damage one, and it could affect their whole system. The captain walked back to his chair, feeling the weight of command. Standard procedures said to wait, but every minute they waited meant more civilian lives at risk. The Thunderbolt was humanity's most advanced warship, even if it didn't look like one. Maybe it was time to show these pirates exactly what they were dealing with. Sir, Sun Mai interrupted his thoughts. The Star Voyager is reporting their life support systems are failing. They have maybe 10 minutes left. That made the decision easier. Han Sol pressed a button on his chair, opening a channel to the whole ship. All hands, this is the captain speaking. We are about to engage 3 hostile vessels to protect civilian lives. This is not a drill. Report to battle stations immediately. The crew moved with practiced efficiency, each person knowing exactly what to do. Warning lights turned on throughout the ship as it prepared for combat. Min Seo, Han Sol called to engineering. Divert all available power to shields and weapons. Ta Wu, target their neural clusters but don't fire until I give the order. Daho, plot an intercept course that puts us between the pirates and the transport. He sat in his captain's chair, his voice firm and clear. These pirates have never faced a human warship before. Let's make sure they remember this encounter. Daho, take us in. Full speed. The Thunderbolt's engines roared to life, pushing the massive ship forward. In moments, they would reveal themselves to the pirates, and when they did, Han Sol intended to teach them a lesson about attacking innocent people in human space. The Thunderbolt moved with surprising speed for a ship its size. Within moments, it positioned itself between the pirate vessels and the damaged civilian transport. The 3 organic ships seemed to pause in surprise at the sudden appearance of the warship. Hold position here, Captain Han Sol ordered. He turned to Sun Mai at communications. Open a channel to all 3 vessels. Sun Mai worked quickly at her station. Channel open. Sir. Han Sol's voice was firm and clear as he spoke. This is Captain Han Sol of the UES Thunderbolt. You are engaged in illegal activities in human space. Release the civilian vessel immediately and surrender, or we will open fire. The response came quickly, a harsh, screeching sound that the computer translated into words. Human vessel, the alien voice said, this is not your concern. Leave now, or be destroyed like the others. The largest pirate ship moved forward, its purple-black hull pulsing with energy. Without warning, it fired a stream of glowing green plasma directly at the Thunderbolt. Incoming fire, Jia Young announced from Tactical. Impact in 3 seconds. Han Sol remained calm in his chair. Hold position. Let's show them what our shields can do. The green plasma struck the Thunderbolt's shields, Instead of the devastating damage the pirates expected, the energy simply rippled across the shield's surface and dissipated. The bridge crew could hear the pirates' surprised chatter over the open channel. Shields holding at 98%, Mincio reported from engineering. The experimental upgrades are working perfectly, sir. Now it was the Thunderbolt's turn. Target their forward neural cluster, Hansol ordered. Tawu, show them what our weapons can do. Tawu's fingers danced across his console. The Thunderbolt's main guns came to life, firing precise beams of concentrated energy. The shot struck the largest pirate ship exactly where its neural cluster was located. The effect was immediate. The organic ship shuddered, its purple hull turning a sickly gray around the impact point. Direct hit, Jai-Young called out. Their primary neural pathway is disrupted. They're losing control of their port side weapons. The other two pirate ships moved to attack positions, launching what looked like glowing organic missiles. The projectiles twisted through space like living things, trying to find weak points in the Thunderbolt's defenses. Multiple incoming projectiles, Daho reported calmly. Evasive pattern Delta 3. The Thunderbolt moved with unexpected agility, dodging most of the missiles. The few that hit were easily absorbed by the shields. The pirates had never encountered a ship that could resist their weapons so effectively. Sir, Yoon-hee called from the science station. I'm detecting increased energy readings from their ships. They appear to be charging their main weapons. Hansol nodded. They're getting desperate. Good. Jai-Young, target their secondary neural clusters. Tawu, prepare a full spread of our new quantum torpedoes. Let's show them what happens when they threaten civilians in our space. The Thunderbolt's response was devastating. Precise energy beams struck the pirate ship's weak points, while quantum torpedoes overloaded their organic shield systems. The largest ship was now barely able to maintain its position, its hull turning darker by the second. They're sending out a distress signal of their own, Sunmai reported, a hint of satisfaction in her voice. Their main ship is reporting critical damage to multiple systems. The bridge crew watched as the pirate vessels, for the first time, began to back away from their prey. The mighty hunters had suddenly become the hunted, and they clearly didn't like the experience. Keep pressing the attack, Hansol ordered. Don't let them regroup. It's time these pirates learned that human space is not their hunting ground. The space around the Thunderbolt lit up with energy blasts and organic missiles as the battle entered its most intense phase. The pirate ships, realizing they faced a serious threat, had changed their tactics. Instead of fighting as individuals, they now moved together, trying to surround the human warship. They're attempting to box us in, Daho reported from navigation. His hands moved steadily across his controls, keeping the Thunderbolt one step ahead of the pirates' coordinated attacks. Captain Hansol watched the tactical display carefully. They're used to hunting in packs, he observed. Jai-Young analyzed their movement pattern. Already done, sir, Jai-Young responded. They're trying to use their traditional hunting formation, but their damaged flagship is slowing them down. They can't complete their encirclement. The largest pirate ship, still struggling from the damage to its neural cluster, tried to launch another wave of organic missiles. This time, the missiles moved erratically, some even turning back toward their own ship. Their targeting systems are failing. Tawu announced from his weapons station. Should I take the shot, sir? Hansol nodded. Target their secondary neural clusters. Full power to forward weapons. The Thunderbolt's main guns fired again, the energy beams cutting through space with deadly accuracy. The shots struck the pirate vessels precisely where their biological control centers were located. The effect was devastating. Direct hits on all targets, Jai-Young called out. Their organic armor is beginning to break down. Mincio's voice came through from engineering. Captain, our shields are still holding at 92%. These pirates have nothing that can seriously harm us. The bridge crew watched as the pirate ships tried to maintain their attack formation. Their once coordinated movements were now clumsy and confused. The damage to their neural clusters had affected their ability to work together. "Sir," He reported from her science station, "I'm detecting a strange reaction in their organic hulls. The damaged areas are spreading. Their living metal can't repair itself fast enough." One of the smaller pirate ships suddenly broke formation, its purple hull now almost completely gray. It turned away from the battle, clearly attempting to escape. "They're starting to run," Sun Mai announced, monitoring the pirates' communications. "Their crews are panicking. They've never seen their ships take this kind of damage before." Han Sol stood from his captain's chair. "We can't let them escape to warn others." "Da Ho, pursuit course. Ta Wu, disable their engines but leave their life support intact." The Thunderbolt moved with surprising speed, catching up to the fleeing vessel. Ta Wu's precise shots disabled its organic propulsion system, leaving it drifting in space. "The other ships are falling back to protect their wounded flagship," Jai Young reported. "But their formation is breaking down. They can barely maintain their defensive positions." Captain Han Sol watched as the once mighty pirate squadron struggled to stay together. Their organic ships, which had terrorized so many civilian vessels, were now failing against human technology. The hunters had become the hunted, and they were learning a harsh lesson about attacking ships in human space. "Prepare for final approach," Han Sol ordered. "It's time to end this. Show them what happens when they threaten innocent lives in our territory." The bridge of the Thunderbolt was silent except for the steady beeping of equipment and the occasional status report from the crew. Captain Han Sol studied the main screen, where the three pirate ships struggled to maintain their defensive formation. Their once threatening organic vessels now looked sick and wounded, their purple hulls turning gray and lifeless in many places. "Sir," He called from her science station, "I've completed my analysis of their flagship's structure. There's a master neural cluster deep within the ship. It acts like a central brain for the entire vessel. If we can hit it, the whole ship will shut down." Han Sol turned to his tactical officer. "Jai Young, can you find me a clear shot at that target?" Jai Young's fingers moved across her screen, calculating angles and power requirements. "Yes, sir. But we'll need to get closer. Their remaining defensive systems are concentrated around that area. They know it's their weak point." The captain nodded and pressed a button on his chair. "Engineering, this is the bridge. Min Seo, I need maximum power to our forward shields. We're going in close." "Understood, Captain," Min Seo replied. "Diverting all available power to forward shields now. They'll hold." Han Sol looked at his navigation officer. "Da Ho, plot us a course straight through their formation. Take us right up to their flagship." "Course plotted, sir," Da Ho responded calmly. "Ready when you are." The captain stood from his chair, his voice clear and firm. "All hands, prepare for close quarters combat. Ta Wu, ready all forward weapons. When we get our shot, we take it." The Thunderbolt moved forward with purpose, its powerful engines pushing it straight toward the pirate formation. The two smaller pirate ships tried to block their path, firing desperate bursts of energy and organic missiles. "Incoming fire," Jai Young reported. "Multiple targets, all directions." "Hold course," Han Sol ordered. "Let them waste their ammunition." The pirate weapons struck the Thunderbolt's shields, creating beautiful patterns of light, but doing no real damage. The human warship pushed forward, unstoppable as a force of nature. "We're in position," Da Ho announced. "Optimal firing range in 5 seconds. Sun Ma suddenly spoke up from communications. "Sir, they're transmitting. The flagship is trying to surrender." "Too late for that," Han Sol said firmly. They had their chance. "Ta Wu, target that master neural cluster. Full power to main guns." The Thunderbolt's weapons came alive, focusing all their energy into a single powerful shot. The beam struck the pirate flagship exactly where He had identified its central brain. The effect was immediate and dramatic. The massive organic ship seemed to shudder, its whole structure convulsing. The purple glow that had pulsed through its hull faded quickly, replaced by a dull, lifeless gray. All its weapons went silent, and its defensive systems collapsed. "Direct hit," Jia Young called out. "Their flagship is completely disabled. All systems are shutting down." The two remaining pirate ships, seeing their leader, helpless and dark, began to back away. Their movements were panicked and uncoordinated, all their earlier confidence gone. "Sir," Sun Mai reported, monitoring the pirates' communications. "They're broadcasting some kind of warning to all their other ships. They're telling them to avoid human space at all costs. They're saying we're too dangerous to fight." Captain Hansol allowed himself a small smile. "Good. That's exactly the message we wanted to send. These pirates needed to learn that human space is not their hunting ground. Today, they learned that lesson well." The space around the Thunderbolt was finally quiet. The two undamaged pirate ships had fled, leaving their disabled flagship behind. The massive organic vessel floated lifelessly, its once bright purple hull now a dull gray. Captain Hansol looked at the silent ship through the main viewport, then turned to his crew. "Status report," he ordered. "Start with the civilian transport." Sun Mai spoke first from her communication station. "The Star Voyager is stable, sir. Their life support systems are running on backup power, but they're holding. No casualties reported among the passengers or crew." "Engineering here." Min Sio's voice came through. "Our shields are already recharging. The experimental upgrades performed better than expected. We only used 30% of our total power during the entire battle." Hansol nodded, pleased with the report. "Yoon-hee, what's the status of that pirate flagship?" The science officer studied her readings carefully. "The ship is completely disabled, sir. Its neural networks are shutting down one by one. But the crew sections still have power and life support. They're alive in there." "Good," the captain replied. "We're not here to kill them. Jia Young, prepare a boarding team. I want that ship secured." As the tactical officer organized the boarding party, Ta Wu reported from his weapons station. "Sir, I'm detecting no active weapons on the pirate vessel. They're completely defenseless." The next hour was busy with careful, coordinated action. The Thunderbolt's boarding teams, led by Jia Young, entered the pirate flagship through its airlocks. They found the alien crew surrendering without a fight. The pirates, used to being the strongest predators in space, were shocked by their complete defeat. "Captain," Sun Mai called out, excitement in her voice, "you need to see what our teams are finding on that ship. They have data records of all their attacks, including locations of other pirate bases." Hansol walked to her station, looking at the information streaming in. "Download everything. This will help us clean up this entire sector." Meanwhile, Daho had moved the Thunderbolt close to the Star Voyager. Engineering teams were helping repair the civilian ship's damaged systems. The passengers, including several families with children, were safe. "Sir," Jia Young's voice came through from the pirate ship. "We've secured their bridge and engine room. Their captain wants to speak with you. He says he has an important message for all human ships." Hansol straightened his uniform. "Put him through to my ready room. Let's hear what he has to say." In his ready room, the captain faced a screen showing the alien pirate leader. The creature looked nothing like a human, with purple-tinted skin and multiple eye stalks. But the emotion in its voice was clear: fear and respect. "Your ship," the pirate captain said through the translator. "It's unlike anything we've encountered. We thought humans were easy prey. We were wrong." "Yes, you were," Hansol replied simply. "And now you'll face justice for your attacks on innocent people." The pirate leader lowered its eye stalks. "Our other ships are already spreading the word through all pirate networks. Human space is now marked as forbidden territory. No pirate crew will risk facing ships like yours." Hansol allowed himself a small smile. The mission had accomplished more than just saving one civilian transport. They had sent a message that would protect countless lives in the future. 2 weeks after the battle, Captain Hansol stood in front of the Fleet Command Council on Earth. The large meeting room was filled with high-ranking officers, all eager to hear his report about the encounter with the Nexus pirates. "The data we recovered from the pirate flagship has proven invaluable," Hansol explained, his voice clear and confident. "We now have locations of 12 major pirate bases and details of their regular trading routes." Admiral Park, the head of Fleet Command, leaned forward in his chair. "And what about the experimental systems on the Thunderbolt? How did they perform in actual combat?" "Better than we could have hoped, sir," Hansol replied. "The new shields handled their bioweapons easily. The pirates had no defense against our targeting systems. The Thunderbolt proved that our technology is far superior to their organic ships." The room buzzed with excited whispers. Another council member spoke up. "What about the civilian transport? The Star Voyager?" Hansol smiled slightly. "Safe and sound, sir. All passengers were unharmed. In fact, we've received thank you messages from every family aboard. The ship's captain has already spread the word about how a single human warship defeated 3 pirate vessels." On the main screen behind him, data scrolled showing the dramatic decrease in pirate activity throughout human space. The news of the Thunderbolt's victory had spread quickly through both legal and illegal channels. "Trade ships are reporting something interesting," Hansol continued. "Anytime they spot organic ships that might be pirates, those ships immediately change course and leave the area. The pirates are actively avoiding human vessels now." Admiral Park nodded with satisfaction. "And the captured pirate flagship? Our scientists are studying it carefully, sir. The organic technology is fascinating, but ultimately flawed. It's vulnerable to targeted strikes in ways that our ships aren't. This information will help us protect our space even better." In the weeks that followed, the effects of the Thunderbolt's victory continued to spread. More human warships were stationed along major trade routes, but they rarely had to act. The mere presence of a human military vessel was enough to keep pirates away. Back on the Thunderbolt, life had returned to normal. The crew went about their duties with quiet pride, knowing they had helped make human space safer. Captain Hansol's report had been shared throughout the fleet, helping other ships prepare for possible encounters with organic vessels. One quiet afternoon, as the Thunderbolt patrolled its regular route, Sun Mai received an interesting transmission. "Sir," she called to the captain, "I'm picking up chatter from a trading post. They're telling stories about us." Hansol walked to her station. "What kind of stories?" "They're calling us the Ghost Ship," she said with a smile. "They say we appear out of nowhere to protect civilian ships. The pirates are telling their children to behave, or the human warship will come for them." The captain returned to his chair, feeling satisfied. The Thunderbolt's mission had been more successful than anyone could have hoped. They had not only defeated the pirates, but had changed the way other species viewed humanity. No longer were humans seen as easy targets. Now they were known as a force to be respected and feared. "Set course for the next sector," Hansol ordered Daho. "There are still ships out there that need our protection." The Thunderbolt moved smoothly through space, its powerful engines humming quietly. To anyone watching, it looked like just another patrol ship. But now everyone knew that appearances could be deceiving. In human space, the hunters had become the hunted, and the galaxy was a safer place because of it.